Hello, this is Majid, and today we are starting the AWS DevOps project, and this is the video part first. For the intro video, I would like to show you the channel that I'm uploading all these videos to. So this is my channel on YouTube, and the part 0 of this web series is already uploaded, and it has some basic information and a couple of GitHub links that you need to download with yourself. The first one that I want to show is the DevOps project sample, which is the sample Node.js project that we will be deploying on the EC2 that we will create. And the second one is the architecture and the commands file, some resources that I will be using along with creating the EC2. So let's go to our AWS account, and by this time I'm hoping that you already have created your AWS account and you are on any region of your choice. I am on Ireland. Um, let's start building the project all together. So we will be creating all these components one by one manually, then we will stitch them together and create a very um, a seamless architecture. So but we will start somewhere. We'll be starting from EC2. So come here, launch the instance, right? Give it a name. Let's say AWS DevOps project EC2, right? Copy this name and choose your operating system. I'm choosing Ubuntu and the version I'm choosing is 20. Come down to the type. I'm choosing the small. You can choose anyone, but the small works, right? We can create a key pair, create a new key pair. I will call it EC2 key here. And now if I for use with, because I am using a putty software PUTTY, I will choose this one .ppk. Create. You can download your PEM file or you can download .ppk file. Create pair. This will be downloaded here. This is the file. Let's copy it, this one, and let's copy it to desktop. Sorry for my very busy desktop. So I copy this key here. I will close this. The key is there. Now I need to create a security group. A security group is basically a combination of ports, which are open or close to this EC2 instance. I don't have any existing security group, so I will create one and I will name it like let's name it AWS DevOps project EC2 security group. I'm naming these because these are easy to remember. Copy them, paste the same in description. The first port is open, which is SSH, and it's port 22 from anywhere with to the public IP. I want to create a couple more. I want to open the HTTP default port, which is 80 to public, and I am also adding another one, a custom TCP port, which is 8008, and because and also open it to the public. And I'm giving this port because my currently the sample project that is I'm running is on port 8008, and this project can be this project has a route called products. Let's see, it's working here. So that's why I'm opening this port on the EC2. When I deploy this project here, it should be accessible just for testing purpose. Later on in the video series we will be removing these ports and only using the port 80. by default. Okay, so let's go and create a storage of 20 GB, and the one that I choose is GP2, which is not that expensive. Now I want to go into the advanced, and I need to assign a profile, a role to this EC2 instance so that it can access S3 bucket. And why do we need this role? Because this EC2 will be accessing the S3 bucket later on when we deploy code to it. So for that we need to create a new role by clicking here, go there, create a role, AWS service, the use case should be EC2, next, search for S3 read only access, this one, right? Select it, next it, name this role and create the role, right? But I have already created this role and I have named it EC2 S3 read only access, right? So I will be choosing this role here by refreshing it and searching for EC2 S3, which is here. I have given that access to this EC2 instance. Now I will come down, and to the user data I want some software to be pre-installed when this EC2 spins up, right? And for that I have already some accounts, commands, sorry. And these commands are here in this repository, commands.txt, which I showed you here. This is the repository and the link is in the intro video here. I will be posting this link in this video as well, but just so you know, go to these commands, copy these commands, right, and paste it here. Basically these commands install Ruby, the wget. The wget is needed to install this software, download this repository, and this software is the AWS code deploy, which will be used later on. For time being, just stick with me. Let's do that. Okay, so everything is set. We have put the initial code here. We have assigned, let's see, we have assigned the S3 access role here. We have created a storage. We are creating a port with 8008, port 80, 22. We are naming our security group and we are creating T2 small, Ubuntu, and the name. Let's launch. We need to wait for a couple of minutes until this instance is initiated. I have tried a couple of more instances previously and I have terminated them, but this is the one that we are creating now. This is a T2 small. This is pending. So let's discuss the architecture a bit. Until then, this EC2 will be ready to be accessed, and I will show you how can we access it. The architecture, this part that you are seeing are multiple instances. Basically consider this as one EC2 instance. For now we are manually creating this EC2 instance by installing some software when it starts up, which we call user data, which we copied there. Then when it runs up, we will be installing Node.js on this EC2 instance. Then we will be pulling some code manually from the GitHub, which I showed you, which I showed the repository to you. This one, this is the repository. Then when that repository is on the EC2, we will then need to install we need to install the dependencies using npm install, and then run that code on the EC2 and then access that EC2 through our browser. That way we will be ready beyond further steps what we need to do. I will also need to show you one thing. We have assigned ports and we need to change those ports. There are multiple ways to change those ports. You can click on this EC2, come to security, and these are the ports, right? You can do change them if you want to. You can go to security groups. We have This is the security group that we have assigned to the EC2, and this security group, when you click on it, you can choose the inbound rules, and you can change those inbound rules here by edit inbound rules. You can remove, delete, update, whatever you want to do here. So this is the place that you can change your security groups. And as I mentioned before, please name your your services or the infrastructure that you want to create accordingly, so that you remember what you are doing, right? Because there are so many things around here and you can easily get confused what's happening, right? So this is the security group, and these are the inbound rules that we created during when we were creating the instance. The better way is that you need to create all these services separately. So for me, I should have come to security groups, created a security group, and then while creating the instance, I should have attached this security group. But I created it on the fly. When I was creating the instance, I created the security group as well. For now on, let's wait for the instance to be completely started. Right now it says initializing. We can refresh this a few times and see. So back on the architecture, when this is done, then we need to go create more things here. But before creating more things, we need to completely finish the EC2 instance, which is, I think, not possible to do in this one video. There will be more parts. So we need to go to the EC2 instance, run the software, run the Node.js project there, and then after that we need to move forward. Let's see. Yes, so this is now checked. We can click on this EC2 instance and come down to the details, copy the link, and go to PuTTY. If you remember, PuTTY is an SSH agent which we use to connect to our EC2 instances. Paste the IP here, click on SSH, auth, credentials, browse, and if you remember, we copied the PPK here somewhere. This is the key that we downloaded and copied to desktop. Select it, open, accept, and the default user is Ubuntu. You can click it, and now we are logged into EC2. So the EC2 instance is now logged in. We have SSH'd into it. We are now on home Ubuntu directory. So go to the command repository where I have put all these commands. So this part is done. Now we need to see if this software is already installed during the EC2 creation, which we did. Sudo service code deploy agent status. You need to copy this, come to the terminal, paste it here, and see the agent is running, active, running. Now what we do is to install nvm node version manager by copying this command, then copying this command to add it to the path. Now nvm is installed. You can check it here, nvm, see. And now we need to do one thing which where we want to install the Node.js. So we will say node version manager install version 18, which means we need to install version 18 Node.js. It will now be installed. Node-v is 18.19 now, and npm-v 10.2. But we need the node to be working in sudo, so we need to check it. It's not working. We can come, copy this command, and paste it here. Now let's do that again. Sudo node-v, and it's working, or sudo npm-v, and it's working. Perfect. So our node and npm are working. Now we need to check if we have installed git. Yes, git is also installed. Um, and now we need to replicate our pull our repository code, which is, let me see, this repository, this one. And let me explain the code. This is basically just to get functions, and we are just throwing an array of products here and just some static text. That's it. This repository is running on port 8008 as I mentioned before. The start is start here, the start script that we need to run, npm start, is here, and we already have node mode running, a node mode installed, and it is running here. We need to copy this repository into our EC2. For that, I already showed you the repository here. This is the repository, sorry, this one. The code is here. You can copy the code, go to the EC2 instance, and here you can type git clone, and this repository, it will be cloned. Cd into this repository, cd, and then type npm install to install the node dependencies. Now run this project, npm start. This project is running on port 8008, and you can go to EC2 instance, copy this IP of this instance that we created where the project is running, copy it, and go to paste it 8008 with port number, because we need to give this port number because that project is running on port 8080, sorry, port 8008, and that port 8008 is already opened in the EC2 security group, which I showed you here. If you click on this EC2 security and go to the inbound rules, see, this port is open here. So that means that this will work. If I click it, see, this app is accessible now. Node demo app, message success, version 1.1. And you can also access the other route. I think it was products. Yes. That means the EC2 instance is running. We need to do one more thing. That is, if we close this terminal, then this node server will be not available. So we need to install what do we call PM2, and we can do like this. We can close this server. We can install npm i npm i pm2 -g npm install, oh my god, npm install -g pm2 -save. Excuse me. Okay, pm2 is installed. Let's see if it's working. pm2 status, yes. So the pm2 is started and the pm2 is working. We need to run this what do we call this project as in pm2. So in pm2 we need to run it pm2 start, and we need to call app.js, right? When we start this, see, the project is online, and we can check it pm2 logs. It will be saying demo app is up and listening to port 8008. We can come out of the logs and again check pm2 status. It's running, right? And if you go to the browser, it will still be running. Now you can close this terminal and the project will still be running. Let's try. Close this terminal and the project is still running. So PM2 is necessary for this, otherwise when we close the terminal the project will be gone. So in this video we have created manually the EC2 instance, install git, Node.js, nvm, and then pulled our sample project from GitHub, run that project and browse that project on the browser. This was a manual thing. Now we need to go and create a bit of automation in the first glance. How do we do that, right? We will be creating more things in future videos. For this video is I think enough, and I will be discussing more in the future videos. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe the channel and please share the video with your friends and colleagues. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye bye.